Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon or good evening depending on when and where you're watching this, and welcome back to the Knit Crochet Read Repeat podcast channel. My name is Kirby. I'm coming to you from a lovely wet Paisley, which is just a stone's throw away from Glasgow in Scotland. I say lovely and wet because it's just so relaxing hearing the sound of the rain. But it was sunny this morning, like it was glorious sunshine, and then it just got darker and darker and darker, and then all of a sudden I just heard the rain. I do have the window open, so apologies if you do hear some background noise, but it's just really refreshing having that cold air come into the flat. So yeah, hello. As I said, my name is Kirby, and today's video is just going through all the WIPs. So it's a mid-year WIP review. I have so many that because of my 2 hand surgeries I have not been able to work on, and then before that I had 2 thumb injuries which also stopped me from crafting at the end of last year into the start of this year. So I am considerably behind on where I would like to be with some of these WIPs, and then also there's just WIPs I have forgotten about. Like I have done a proper deep like WIP dive to find some of the ones that have just been consistently blanketed over and forgotten. So let's start going through them. For any of the ones I don't recall the name of the pattern and or the designer, I will put that information along the bottom of the screen here, and I will link as many of the patterns as I can in the description the description box below. You just need to hit the more button underneath the video. For any of the ones I can't link, it's because I have been gifted those patterns by somebody and it was done directly, so I don't have access to it, but I will try my best to find it either way. Right, so off the top of the bat, these are no particular order, these are just how they come to me. Some of them I'll talk through whether they're like super old WIPs, like the one that has been hiding in the back of this sofa. Not in the sofa, but like behind the sofa. Some of them have been in plain view for a while in the hopes that they would maybe kind of like pick my interest, be like, okay, let's get this done. But I really would like to start doing a kind of like a WIP down, but that's a different video. So for now, let's just pick off the top of the pile. And I guess the first one we're going to do is, oh my goodness, I can't find the end of it. I started a little pig from the Pica Pau amigurumi book that I think this was the one I bought myself, or it's the one my husband bought me for my birthday back in April. And I made a good start before the carpal tunnel was just unmanageable, and then I had the carpal tunnel surgery. So this is where he got. I didn't even stuff the head because I didn't put the eyes in, and so I do think this would be a very quick finish. So I will find what book that was in, but it's Pica Pau, or Pica Pau. I think it's Pica Pau, and I'll put the name or like insert a photo of the book itself, but it is part of a book. But I got his wee nose done, I got it stuffed, I got the smile on. Not the easiest thing to do because I did back stitching for it, so it kind of is a slightly disjointed, and I do think his nose is a bit squinty. It doesn't help the fact his head isn't stuffed, but I have loads of stuffing, so that's not an issue. But yeah, maybe he might be one of the first ones to get finished once I can craft again. I think when I'm editing, I'm going to try and keep like a tally, because I will forget going through this and I'll miscount and then I'll have to put it in anyway. So we'll try and do like a running tally of how many WIPs I have. Keeping on the amigurumi front, and again, I could probably, if I just leave this out, I could maybe try and sew these together. I'm missing a limb. There it is. This is meant to be a dragon. I was kind of doing like a test run of this before I made a much bigger one, and then everything just fell to the wayside. I have the 4 limbs. I have the parts for the wings. I was going to do like a 4th section and do like the biggest wings, but the yarn thickness between the different colours was extreme. So I'm just going to keep it with the 3 parts, which you can do in the pattern. So yeah, this guy could probably get finished. I think there's more to him, to be fair. I think there's more like details for like around the face and some like spikes and stuff. Like maybe some ears and not gills. Gills are fish. Be like more spikes. And I think there's detail for the tail. But I got pretty far with him before I lost all interest. How bad is that? So another amigurumi. That is not Pica Pau. That was one that was gifted to me. I've just found a crochet hook hiding in a ball of yarn. So let's move that, because that is the main crochet hook I use for quite a lot of my projects. I don't want to lose that. Okay, so let's pick this one up. This one is my toaster. This, I want this finished because I feel like by the time I can work on it, that summer's already going to be over. Like, we are in a complete washout for June apparently. Like, we have had so much rain and we're going to continue to have so much rain. I'm okay with that unless it starts flooding. But we just had our heat wave. Not that I think I could have worn this, to be honest. But yeah, I don't have much to go on it. But I am very interested to get this finished and off the needles. That would be also probably quite high up on my list to get done. But the toaster tee is by Rebecca Clow. And I do like the pattern. I think I'm just sick of this because I already knit it once at the recommended gauge and I did not like that gauge. I really should have stopped before I actually finished the full thing, but I didn't, and I finished it and then I've ended up frogging it and re-knitting it. So I think I'm just kind of sick of the combination between the yarn, the colour and the same pattern. I think it'd be different if I'd done one where it had like stripes or was just like a really like completely different colour. But I do look forward to having this finished. I'm just wishing it was finished. In here we have the sock I started for my mum. This is Regia sock yarn, but it's like interesting. It was in a cake to begin with, and then it's going through different, like the ply is changing as we go through the yarn. And I got to the point where I was just starting the heel flap. So I'm normally pretty quick with socks, so this could be also in the top of the whip down list. So far we have 4 things in the this kind of top of my whip down list, but I'm normally pretty quick with socks. This isn't the easiest yarn to work with though. It is a little bit splitty because it is 2 very prominent different plies of yarn, and it is making it a bit trickier to work with, and you do need to sometimes check you haven't split the yarn. But otherwise I think these could be done. Like, this is the first sock and it's just a vanilla sock to the sizing for my mum. There's no pattern or anything, it's just all from my memory, all from my workings. So yeah, but this is a Regia sock yarn. Oh, I forgot there's 2 projects in here. This one hasn't been touched in a while. This is a Scrappy blanket that I've just started. I was doing a lot of projects that had the crochet linen stitch. I also want to say moss stitch, but that might be different. But I was doing a lot of projects that had the crochet linen stitch. I loved the look of it. I had a lot of like small scraps, and I decided that when they were done in my Coziest Memories blanket, when they were then also put into, I feel like, yeah, Coziest Memories blanket, and then it would go maybe into the Radvent blanket, then it would go into the Secret project. I can't remember how much I've said about the Secret project or who it's for, so I'm now gonna like completely like backtrack and just put Secret project. And then if there was anything left, it would go into here, and you can see just how small some of the scraps can be, and these are 4-ply held double, so it's really nice and squishy. And then depending if she likes it, this will go to my sister, but this is going to be a long term project, mostly because it just hasn't received any love for a while, like well before the injury to my thumbs, which was like September, October that really started, and then I was unable to craft from November to January. So it's been a long time, if not longer than September, October. I genuinely don't recall the last time I worked on this. In the same box here, you'll see I have this very small 5-gram Advent. That's in my Coziest Memories blanket. But in here, in this container, is the majority of the project for the Secret project, and most of my scraps that have already been in my Coziest Memories blanket. Some of them have not been in the Radvent blanket, and I'm not sure if they will be. Like, I really need to sit down and see how big I want the Radvent blanket, and then work out if I have enough like meterage to do a square for that project. But this is where I hold the blanket for my sister, the one I just showed you, and the Secret project. But I am going to take these balls of acrylic out because they're not meant to be there, and that ball of leftover. Everything's just kind of been flung in here the last wee while, so I'm not entirely sure what's in here, but I know the acrylic should not be in there because that's what I use for the dragon. Okay, put the Advent back in. Talking of the other blankets, I do have the Radvent blanket. I have the squares I worked on before my surgery, or surgeries. So I got a good couple in here, just kind of dry blocking. I never once wet them. They've just been on there to stretch out. And then the actual Radvent blanket is here. I may or may not undo the joins because I'm just not happy with the join I done. It's a ridge. It's a huge sticking up ridge, and I don't like it. I think I just want to go back in and maybe do like a mattress stitch, which will give me back some of that blue and allow me to join more squares, because I don't have a lot of that blue left because I'm using to bind off all my squares. But yeah, I have 4x6 currently, and I think I wanted to definitely longer would be lovely, maybe another 4, like 4 high, but keep it 6 wide, because I think 6 wide is a really good size for a single person. because I'm not really stretching it, I'm just holding it up because this never truly got blocked. So yeah, this is one I need to think about, to think how big I want it, to know how many more squares I need to do. But I got, let's find an edge that doesn't have all the ends. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I got 13 done. So that's not, I'm what, 11 short if I wanted to do another 4x6. That's achievable. I can get one of these squares done in a day if I really put my mind to it. If not, it was taking me like 2 or 3 days, just adding like a couple of rounds every time. So yeah, that is the Radvent cowl. That is by Amber O'Brien. I do remember that one, and I remember the designer. Doesn't happen very often. So many ends on this blanket. I haven't woven a single one in. Okay, so we'll stay on blankets. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I have 5 that I'm 4 that I'm not going to pick up and show you because they're already in their places, but you have seen my Coziest Memories blanket. I had the idea and challenge to do 2 squares a week, which would get me up to the size I needed. I think I also needed to put in 8 extra during the year to get a full complete row. And I need to take that blanket out and I need to review how far behind I am, because I wasn't expecting to get my surgeries so quickly and so close together that I will be behind. I have been out of action now for, my first surgery was the 28th of April. So 7 weeks I've been out of action, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I think this is the 7th week. Don't quote me on that. It feels so much longer, but I think it's only been 7 weeks. And so I need to pull that blanket out and calculate how far behind I am. So when I'm back up to a level where I can craft, I know how many squares I need to try and squeeze in a shorter period of time, if that makes sense. But the Coziest Memories blanket is by Kemper Ray. It is a mitered square blanket where you cast on or pick up all the stitches for your row, and then you do like a center decrease and it comes together into a square. Mine uses just under 4 grams of yarn. That's why I have this 5 gram Advent that was a leftover from last year. And it's really good for using up scraps, and you don't really need too much. But my priority with some of my scraps is the Coziest Memories blanket because I've had it on the go for so long. The next one up on this side is one where I'm just using up a bunch of acrylic and I'm making the likes of a granny square, it was right there on the tip of my tongue, like a Battenberg square or a solid granny square, and then also the willow square, which I really was enjoying making. Like, I can't wait to get back to that one. I think I calculated that I have about 90 squares so far, and the idea for that project is that I'm just planning on making a ton of squares in a ton of different colors, and then eventually put them together into blankets and donate them into the likes of the Beatson, which is one of our main treatment centres for patients with cancer, and it's up in Glasgow. It has a very dear place in my heart because so many people I know have been there, and I'm probably going to know more people down the line that will need to attend there. So it is part of what I would like to do, which is just make, whether it's lap blankets or full blankets for somebody, just so that they have some comfort whilst they're going through their treatment. So yeah, that's just using up all kinds of acrylic because you want it so that it can go in the wash, especially after they've been in a hospital, and they don't need to worry about any care instructions or anything like that. It's just in the wash, in the tumble dryer, good. But it's going to be a long-term project, but it's one that is very, very dear to my heart. The next project up there is my tiny granny squares project, and I was doing so well with that, and then I could not weave in the ends on one of my bundles, and I have it in my head. So rewind. My small granny squares project is another Scrappy acrylic project. I picked up several balls of yarn and I made the center. Sorry, Oogies. I'm wondering if a bug or something's got in the room because she just got super fascinated. I need to go make sure she's not found like a wasp or something. Sorry if the angle's all off now. It was a bee, possibly a wasp, and she was so trying to get down to it, and I just had this notion that if she got to it, Oogie was getting stung, and we are not okay to take her to the vet because those places are expensive. We would obviously take her if she got stung and had a reaction, which if my previous cat is anything to go by, they do. They always take a reaction. So I had to snap into action, get the sofa away from the window, which not good when you don't have two perfectly good working hands. And then that little sucker fought me every time I tried to help it, but we got there. The windows are now shut and I'm overheating. And Oogie is just like, where is it? Where is it? She's got big crazy eyes. So, apologies if the angle's different. Apologies for the fact I'm out of breath. I really had to fight that little guy to get out of here. And he just kept getting absolutely knackered. So I hope I've done the right thing by getting it back out the window. Because he just kept going on his back and then just stopped moving. Oh, I hope I made the right idea, like the right choice. Anyway, so we're talking about the small squares project I started. I think I have like 23 colours of yarn, so I made the inside 23 times in each colour. And then I would do one round of the other colour 23 times on each colour. I'm not good at explaining things. But yeah, I got 2 bundles done before the surgeries, and I thought I would try to weave in the ends on the second bundle because my process is you do a bundle, you weave in the ends, then you can move on to the next bundle. And by bundle I mean I have one of every 23 colours, and then I put one round on each of those in one colour. And I only have 2 bundles done of the one round, the second round in one colour, but the ends are not woven in on that second bundle, so I cannot proceed to the next bundle until I weave in those ends. And so that's not going to be a fast project, so it's not getting put at the top of the whip down pile. And then the next one after that is a cotton Battenberg blanket. That is a crochet project. I'll put the name of the designer down here. It's a lovely pattern. I've made it before. I made one for my first goddaughter. Made it super huge so that if she is anything like her mum and goes away from university, she has a little bit of home with her. And I'm making it out of, I say it wrong every time, I don't know how to say it, Shipyes, Katana, which is 10 gram minis of mercerized cotton, and they're lovely. But I reckon I'm going to end up with like at least 2 blankets out of that, because I get around, I think I want to say like 7 rounds on a square. So they're quite big. And I have like 100 balls of yarn. So there's that. And then the other project, I'm just checking. The other blanket project that I'm not going to be pulling out is the gingerbread blanket, which was a Sardar crochet along in 2024, I think. Maybe 2025? No, has to be 2024. Oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, I got so far on it and then I put it down and then it got put away and then I just forgot about it. And then I picked it back up and I was making okay progress and then I hurt my thumbs. And then I had hand surgery. So maybe it will get done for this year. Wouldn't that be nice? Keeping on the blanket front, I have a... I can't remember what I was calling this when I was working on it actively, but I'm gonna attempt to say it was my Scrappy sock stripe blanket. And I saw everyone doing the jelly roll and I was just in a part where I couldn't be buying patterns, and so I just decided to try to make one on my own. And I feel like I've done a pretty good attempt at that. But this is all sock yarn, commercial sock yarn. So your Regia, your West Yorkshire Spinners, your Happy Feet, that kind of yarn, that rusticy feeling sock yarn. And it's all scraps, less than about 50 grams per scrap, because anything more I can make a pair of socks. And it's looking pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on the 6th stripe. And let's see, there we go. On the 6th stripe, I am alternating what side has the joining ridge. So you see there isn't a joining ridge here, but there is one here, and then there isn't one here. It's so there's no right side and wrong side to the blanket. And also I wanted to make sure that I wasn't constantly joining on the same side, so that one edge of the blanket had all the tighter cast on and one had all the looser cast off, so that one end flared and one didn't. So I wanted to alternate that. So this is a cast on, this is a cast off, so that you've got, and that goes all the way down, so that I'm not having one end that flares more than the other, or one end that's more stretchy than the other. So that was an active choice that I made when I decided just to do this Scrappy stockinette stripey blanket with sock yarn. So this is unfortunately another long-term project, because we all know blankets are not fast. Unless you have no other projects on the go and you only work on one blanket at a time. I unfortunately have too many blankets on the go that I want to work on all the time. Next up is a Stephen West pattern. It is the Musicale, and not for the reasons where everyone's trying to cancel him recently, which I do actually agree with. He really should have done his homework before he went on a podcast with people that were actively harmful for the community. The reason I am thinking of leaving this as it is and maybe make like a wall hanging out of it is because I just don't like the next part of it. But I also don't know whether just to try and see if I like it in my colours. I don't know, I think this part was so interesting and then the next part was meh. So I'm genuinely on the fence as to whether I want to just call this a day and then reuse my yarns elsewhere, because I still have quite a good amount of yarn I think this is the one I have the most of, which is a Calic Chic Ellen yarn. And then this was a yarn I got in New York. So this is quite like one of those sentimental yarns. So do I really want to put it into a project where I'm like, don't know if I like that. And it's I think it's only the next section I don't like. All those little parallelograms. They're not, I don't think they're diamonds. I want to say I can't say the word. Parallel, those things, those slanty rectangles. So yeah, I'm on the fence. Obviously I've cut the yarn in all of this. I mean, just look at that back. Like, I've got ends that are kind of partially woven in, and then I've got all of these ends. There's no saving this. I have gone, the yarn is gone. I could maybe pull back sections. Like, if I pull that back, I'm pretty sure that's going to be around maybe 3 grams, 4 grams. I could put it into the blanket for my sister, or maybe the Coziest Memories blanket, especially maybe this last one. But there's no saving this. Like, I'd have so many mini balls of yarn. But I could also just make it like a really interesting wall hanging. Don't know how I would do that, but I could maybe try. Like, maybe if I just bind off this last row, because it is on a cable. So yeah, this was the Musical Mystery Knit Along, and I was loving it. I was really enjoying this section. Not that you can even see my beautiful brioche down here. Look at those colours. But yeah, I don't know whether to try the next section and see if I like it in my colours, or do I just stop and call it quits? Don't know. I've been on the fence about this for quite some time. That's why it's not been touched. One of my friends had me almost at the point where it was just like, call it done. Use the yarn you have left for something else and just call it done. And then there's always that part of me that's like, what if it looks okay when it's done? Don't know. Next up, I have my Aria cardigan. This beautiful cardigan. It is a cardigan. I'm just showing you the back. I hope I didn't get my lipstick on that. It hit on my lips, so it might have. I still have ends to weave in. Just 1 or 2 from each square, so nothing horrific. What needs done on this is I need to pick up for the knitted ribbing and the collar. My brain, after that wasp or bumblebee, whatever it was, oh, my brain's just gone. So yeah, I need to pick up all the edging. Let's call it that, edging. And I'm trying to say if I want to put buttons in it, probably not. And then I've got the bottom ribbing to do, the neckline, blah, 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 blah. This just hasn't been done because it's going to be a hefty amount of effort, and I just need to locate the black yarn. I want this finished, but I am also very aware that this is not going to be a summer cardigan. This is a Scottish summer cardigan, but if we get anything like the weather we had last week, this is a winter cardigan. So I'm not in any rush to get this done. So maybe once I am back to full abilities with my hands, maybe this could be on the list. Because I think once I put my mind to it, it wouldn't take too long. That being said, the bottom ribbing, the button band and the neckband could all be done in one. And I do have a cable big enough. I'm just not sure if it's big enough for the smaller chalgo needles or the larger chalgo needles. I'd need to check and locate the black yarn that I want to finish it in, which is just upstairs somewhere. This is the project that has been hiding behind the sofa for years. I started this project. I don't even think I lived in this flat when I started this project, and we've been in here 5 years. So there's that. This is a sunflower. This is a really cute sunflower. And this was on JH Winter blog, and it's called the Amigurumi Happy Sunflower. Here is what it's meant to look like. And apart from maybe the actual, no, I have the pot. I have the pot. It's not finished, I don't think. No, it is finished. So I have the little pot, I've got the topsoil, I've got the leaves, I've got the petals. I have everything. So why have I not done anything with it? So I think a big part of it was I needed like a pipe cleaner. But now that I'm wiggling the stem, I think there's already a pipe cleaner in it. And I just need to figure out how to make this all stand, because that's really not... I think it needs a wire, not pipe cleaner, if I'm being honest. Because that's not nowhere near sturdy enough for the weight that's here. And then I reckon I'm going to have to do what I did with one of the flowers I made for my wedding, which is like the one eyeball one. I will put a photo up here. That had wire and it had like beans in the base so that it kind of sat more sturdy. So I think I'm going to need to do like a repeat of that flower, because this is just so flimsy. I think that's why I've not done anything with it, is it's just so flimsy. But yeah, that's been a long time coming. I was so excited to make that project, and then it just whittled out and died and just got hidden at every point so that I wouldn't see it, even though it's always kind of like back here being like, you have a project you've not touched in 5 years. Next up, I stalled on this because I don't know where I put the yarn. Simple as that. Don't know where I put the yarn, and I only have that much left of the ball I'm working with. But this is my first steek project. It is meant to be the Otra cardigan by Skandier, but I omitted the colour work. I just wanted to try my first steek project without any colour work, and I also really just wanted to showcase this yarn. This is Rowan Tweed. Do I have a ball band? No, I do not. But I just wanted to showcase this yarn. It's really beautiful and it does soften up quite a bit, and I just wanted a nice simple cardigan. So maybe once I locate the yarn I can kickstart this project, because I thought I'd left it somewhere more accessible, but when I went to check there was no yarn. So it might be in the cupboard, and I just don't have the hand strength to be taking all that out, and I just don't want to go back to this project just yet. Next up is my fundraiser blanket. This is also going to be a fundraiser for the Beatson Cancer Centre in Glasgow. This is a blanket called Hope. Do I have the name of the designer handy? Hope by Ana Marias Suarez, and they go by One Skein of Love online. And actually I could just show you the photo. So this is the pattern. It is Mosaic Crochet. This was my second attempt at Mosaic Crochet. I'd say I'm around about here, but I've made this much longer than the pattern states, because otherwise it's a very weird size if I didn't add length to it. So I could have been done if I had gone with the length the pattern stated, but again, it was a very awkward length. Like it wasn't even a lap blanket at that point. It was very, very awkward. So I made it longer, and I was making really good progress with it, because I don't feel like I can start the fundraiser until the blanket is like so close to being done, and then I can do updates as it's getting finished. But it's really good size just now as it is, and I cannot wait to get back to this because it's just so beautiful. So yeah, I will need to wash this before it actually becomes a fundraiser, because I have well, I don't have cats, I have a cat, and some people don't like cat hair or are allergic. Right, I think this is my last project, or last bag of projects. I'm not really sure what's in here. So that's a bonnet, that's yarn for something else. That is a project I frogged. I frogged the, that's not the pattern, it was a pouch. I was doing a pouch, like a bag, and I frogged it. This might be my only last project. What else is in here? Empty bag, empty bag. Oh, I haven't started this, but this is one I wanted to start. This is Harold Fatness. Isn't he cute? And I've even got all the wee mini balls of yarn in here that I wanted to start it with. So that can go in a different pile. What's this bag? Nothing to start, like nothing that's been started, so that can go somewhere else as well. Okay, so this is the last project, and just like the Stephen West pattern, I am genuinely on the fence as to whether I want to continue with this project. I was so sure I wanted this, and then I decided I didn't. And I do think a big part of that was the knitting experience because of my carpal tunnel. For those that are either new to my channel or just unaware, I had severe carpal tunnel in both of my hands. I was really, really unlucky that way. And I went through a period where 9 months I had no relief from my carpal tunnel. And that's why I've had the carpal tunnel decompression surgeries. So I think I want to give this another try and see what I think. This is the, let me get the name correct, the Traveller Shell by Andrea Mowry, or Drea Renee Knits. This is knit in 4-ply, and it is a very stretchy fabric because you knit a couple of rows and then you purl a couple of rows. And so it's not just a simple stockinette or garter project. It does require a bit of thinking. Like, I've literally had to put on my notes like where I am. Like, I mark it off to be like, right, I've done that knit row, I've done that knit row, I've done that purl row, I've done that purl row, because if I don't, I will get confused. I also am trying to figure out what is the right side. I think I'm looking at the right side. So I'm gonna maybe knit a couple of rows when I can and see what I think, because I haven't worked on this in a while because of how bad the carpal tunnel was, and now I don't have pins and needles, so I might work on this. Honestly, I had it in a box because I classed it as a project, and then I decided it wasn't a project and it was going to get frogged. But now that I've had the surgeries, I'm curious to see how I get on with it. So this might get back into circulation at some point. We will see. Honestly, at this point, I feel like everything's worth a try because I don't know what my hands are going to do. It's like I've got 2 brand new hands. They're still very sore. And apologies if anyone has seen the scar. I'm trying not to show it off because it still looks a bit raggedy and not cool. But yeah, right, let's do a really quick count. So I've got socks, dragon, pig, toaster, sunflower, traveller shell, hope blanket, ultra cardigan, Stephen West musicale, Ariana cardigan, so that's 10. That's not a project, that's not a project. Crochet squares. I'm counting, but then also trying to remember the project names. Apparently that's where my brain goes, no, we're not functioning anymore. Coziest Memories blanket, small squares, Battenberg blanket, gingerbread blanket, so that's 15. Radvent blanket, 16. Secret project, 17. Sisters blanket, 18. And then technically I still have one more. And it's upstairs, and it was the very first mitered square project I started and inherited from my mum. We were making it out of Drops yarn. I want to say like their DK, like one of their DK yarns. And that has been upstairs the whole time I've lived here. I don't think I've touched that project since I lived here. Don't think so. So 19? 19 projects. That's not horrific. I could have worse. There's so much I want to make. Did I count the sock? No, I did. I'm looking at the wrong bag. I've got so many bags that have yarn in them that were for projects. Like, I've got this, I love this bag, Floof Hunter. And it is full of little cotton amigurumi balls from Aldi because I was on an amigurumi kick. I still am internally. Like, my heart is just like, we can make this and this and this and this and this. But my body's just like, we are resting. Like, that's it. We are resting. And then I've got other project bags like Harold Fat Mouse, and this is full of yarn that I was going to make like another toaster out of, and it's got my super bright pink yarn that I haven't done anything with, and then I've got this one which I was going to swatch. I can't remember what this was going to become. Oh, I'm picturing all the projects I wanted to make, and I think it was another Andrea Mowry project. But yeah, I have bags of yarn that really should be back up with all the other yarn. Projects that I was going to start and haven't. So yeah. My brain is now kicking back into gear and I'm like, ideas. But I need to remember I am still recovering. I am still doing my hand exercises. I am meant to do like this kind of motion. And then like all these kind of, because like I can feel how tight the skin is and stuff like that. It makes it very difficult to do things. But yeah, 19, if I've counted right, because I've got projects down here, I've got projects over here, I've got projects over here, up here, down there, one upstairs. If I have counted right, I have 19 projects. If I have not counted right, there is a number in the top of the screen telling you what the running total is. And I am hoping to start doing a whip down once I am fully able. and hopefully, so I've got the pig, the dragon, the socks and the toaster that are nearly done. So that's 4 projects I could get away, like done. Is there anything else I could maybe get done quickly? Maybe the Ariana. Maybe if I decide how big I want it. Oogie, you scared me. She just jumped up from the back of the sofa. Maybe the Radvent cowl, so maybe 6. That would be good. I would like to get some of my blanket projects like down. So I think Hope would be the first one to get done. Mayo. Hope would be the first one I could maybe get finished. But don't know. I didn't even try to crochet between this one being mostly healed and then the second surgery, like before the second surgery. I hadn't even tried crocheting at that point. So it's all up in the air. But I reckon once I'm fully able, the pig, the dragon, socks for my mum and the toaster tea will be the first 4 projects I look to get finished. But that's a different video because this one's already very long. But yeah, thank you for joining me on my mid-year WIP review. I have less than I thought I did, but also I'm shocked by the number I have. Go figure that one out because I don't understand it. But thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and leave a comment, subscribe to the channel, share the channel with your friends. I am about to go through a very scary point in my life that I will discuss later on once I have more details. Scary only for me, and it's not health related, thankfully. But I am looking to get this channel a little bit bigger, and if somehow I could get it monetized, that would be amazing. But I will take just another couple of subscribers here or there. That would be lovely. But oh, and it's sunny now. All the big grey clouds are gone. Like, really, they're gone. Blue skies. But yes, thank you so much for watching, and until my next video, please do stay safe and happy crafting. Bye everyone.